The alarm screamed across every military base on Earth. Admiral Jihoon stood in the command center, staring at the massive screen in front of him. His heart pounded as he watched the red dots appear at the edge of the solar system. 12 giant ships. Each one was bigger than anything humans had ever built. Around them floated hundreds of smaller vessels like wolves surrounding their prey. "How long until they reach us?" Jihoon asked. His voice was calm, but his hands gripped the edge of the control panel. 3 days, sir," a young officer replied. "They're moving slowly. Like they want us to see them coming." Jihoon nodded. "Fear tactics. The aliens wanted Earth to panic. They wanted humanity to break before the first shot was fired." He looked at the faces around him. Some showed fear. Others showed anger. Good, anger was useful. Fear could be controlled. 20 minutes later, the message came. Every television, every radio, every computer screen on Earth showed the same thing. An alien face appeared. It had 4 eyes and smooth gray skin. When it spoke, the words came through in perfect English, Chinese, Spanish, and every other human language. "People of Earth, we are the Galactic Council. We have ruled the stars for 10,000 years. We have come to offer you a choice. Submit to our authority. Disarm your weapons. Give us 30% of your resources each year. Do this and you will live under our protection. Refuse and we will destroy every human in the solar system. You have 72 hours to decide." The screen went black. For a moment, the entire command center was silent. Then everyone started talking at once. Jihoon raised his hand and the room went quiet. "Get me everyone. All the world leaders. All the military commanders. We meet in 1 hour." He turned to his communications officer. "And find Dr. Minji. Tell her we need every weapon she's been working on. I don't care if they're ready or not." In her laboratory deep under the Nevada desert, Dr. Minji was already moving. She had seen the message. She had expected this day might come ever since humanity detected the first alien signals 5 years ago. Her team had been preparing in secret. "Activate Project Prometheus," she told her assistant. "All satellites. Full power. But doctor, the tests aren't complete. We don't know if..." "We're out of time," Minji said. She pulled up a holographic display. It showed Earth surrounded by thousands of small dots. To anyone watching from space, they looked like space junk. Old satellites. Broken equipment. Trash floating in orbit. But they weren't trash. Each one was a weapon. Each one carried enough energy to burn through alien metal like paper. The meeting happened in a secure bunker in Switzerland. Presidents, prime ministers, and generals from every nation appeared on screens around the room. Jihoon stood at the center next to Ambassador Sujin. "We should negotiate," said one leader. "Buy time. Learn their technology. Then maybe in 100 years. In 100 years our children will be slaves," Jihoon interrupted. "Our grandchildren will forget what freedom means." "Is that what we want?" "What choice do we have?" Another voice asked. "Look at their ships. Their technology is centuries ahead of ours. We can't win." Ambassador Sujin stepped forward. She had just returned from the neutral space station where she met the alien envoy. "I spoke with them. I learned something interesting. They're afraid of us." Silence filled the room. Then someone laughed. "Afraid of us? That's impossible." "No," Sujin said. "It's true. They studied our history. They saw our wars. The nuclear bombs, the chemical weapons, the biological attacks. They saw what we did to each other for thousands of years. They think we're insane. They think we're too dangerous to leave alone." Jihoon smiled. It was not a nice smile. "Then let's prove them right." For the next 70 hours, Earth prepared for war. Every ship was armed. Every soldier was ready. Every civilian was moved to underground shelters. Captain Hyunwoo gathered his Void Strikers, the elite special forces trained to fight in space. They checked their weapons and their suits. They knew what was coming. "Think we can win?" asked one young soldier. Hyunwoo looked at his team. "Winning isn't the point. Making them regret coming here is the point. Even if we die, we make it cost them so much they'll never try this again. Not with us. Not with anyone." The deadline approached. With 1 hour remaining, Jihoon sat in his command chair. The entire fleet was ready. Earth's orbital defenses were powered up. Every weapon was aimed at the sky. "Sir," said the communications officer, "the council is waiting for our answer." Jihoon stood up. He straightened his uniform. "Broadcast this on every channel. I want them to hear it. I want the whole galaxy to hear it." The camera turned on. Jihoon stared directly into it. When he spoke, his voice was clear and hard. "You came to our home. You pointed your weapons at our planet. You told us to kneel or die. Here is our answer. We choose to stand. We choose to fight. You think your technology makes you strong? You think your numbers make you invincible? Come and test that theory. Come and try to take Earth, but know this. Every ship you lose, every soldier you lose, every drop of blood you spill here will be because you made one fatal mistake. You thought we would be easy prey. You were wrong. Earth says no. Earth will always say no. If you want our world, you'll have to pry it from our cold, dead hands. And even then, we'll make you pay for every inch. He cut the transmission. Around him, the command center erupted in cheers. Ji-hoon didn't smile. He knew what was coming. War, real war. The kind that would kill millions. Maybe billions. But slavery would kill something worse. It would kill the human spirit, sir, said the radar officer. The alien fleet is moving. They're coming straight for us. Good, Ji-hoon said. Dr. Minji, are your toys ready? Her voice came through the speakers. Yes, Admiral. Project Prometheus is online. All 3,000 satellites are armed and tracking targets. Then let's give them a proper welcome, Ji-hoon said. Show them what happens when you threaten Earth. The alien ships crossed into the orbit of Neptune. They expected to find a panicked, disorganized defense. They expected pleas for mercy. They expected submission. Instead, they found 3,000 hidden weapons opening fire at once. The battle for Earth had begun, and humanity was done asking permission to exist. The lights in Dr. Minji's control room turned red. On her screen, 3,000 hidden satellites came to life. They had been floating in Earth's orbit for 2 years, disguised as broken equipment and space junk. Now they showed their true purpose. Firing in 3, 2, 1, her assistant counted down. Across the darkness of space, beams of pure energy shot out. They were invisible to the human eye, but their effect was not. The alien dreadnoughts had shields, powerful ones that could stop missiles and lasers. But these weapons were different. They fired gamma rays, the same deadly radiation that came from exploding stars. The shields meant nothing. 3 massive alien ships exploded. The blasts were so bright they could be seen from Earth's surface. Pieces of burning metal scattered through space. The remaining alien fleet stopped moving forward. For the first time, they hesitated. Admiral Ji-hoon watched from his command center. Don't give them time to think. Launch all fighters. Launch everything. Commander Dae-hyun sat in the cockpit of his stealth fighter. Around him, 500 other ships launched from Earth and Mars. His hands moved over the controls with practiced ease. He had trained for this moment his entire life. Now it was real. All wings, follow my lead, he said into his radio. Remember, they expect us to fight fair. We're not going to do that. The human fighters spread out, moving in patterns that made no sense to traditional military tactics. They zigzagged, they dove, they scattered. The alien ships tried to track them, but human pilots were doing something the aliens had never seen before. They were unpredictable, chaotic, wild. Releasing drones, Dae-hyun said. Behind him, his fighter opened its cargo bay. 100 small drones shot out. They weren't meant to return. Each one was packed with explosives and programmed to ram into enemy ships at full speed. The aliens tried to shoot down the drones, but there were too many. Dozens made it through. They struck the alien ships like bullets, exploding on impact. The alien point defense systems had never been designed for enemies who would sacrifice their own weapons so easily. Then came the missiles. Human fighters launched nuclear warheads. Not the small tactical ones, the big ones. The kind that could destroy entire cities. 20 missiles screamed through space toward the alien fleet. Nuclear weapons in space? The alien commander broadcast on an open channel. His voice sounded shocked. That violates the Galactic Accords. You cannot... We never signed your accords, Ji-hoon replied coldly. The missiles detonated. White-hot explosions lit up the darkness. 2 more alien dreadnoughts broke apart. But the aliens were recovering from their shock. They began to return fire. Energy beams lanced out, cutting through human fighters like paper. Ships exploded. Men and women died. Dae-hyun gritted his teeth as he watched friends disappear from his radar screen. Keep moving, he shouted. Don't let them lock on. He spun his fighter in a tight spiral, dodging 3 different weapons at once. His heart pounded. Sweat ran down his face. But he was smiling. This was what he was born to do. While the space battle raged, Captain Hyunwoo and his Void Strikers approached one of the damaged alien dreadnoughts. Their small assault ship was almost invisible to sensors. They drifted close, using pieces of debris as cover. Remember the plan, Hyunwoo said to his team. Get in, grab their computer data, get out. We have 20 minutes before this ship explodes. They attached to the alien hull and cut through with plasma torches. Inside the ship was dark and full of smoke. Bodies floated in the zero gravity. Human and alien. The fighting had been brutal here. Hyunwoo moved quickly through the corridors. His team followed in perfect formation. They found the data center and began downloading everything. Technical specifications, battle plans, information about the Council's military strength. All of it went into their portable drives. Contact, one soldier shouted. Alien survivors appeared at the end of the corridor. They wore armor and carried weapons that glowed with blue energy. They opened fire. Hyunwoo and his team returned fire with conventional bullets. The aliens seemed confused. Bullets in space combat? But bullets worked just fine. They punched through alien armor. The corridor filled with smoke and floating bodies. Data secured, shouted the tech specialist. Let's go. They ran back to their ship. Behind them, the alien dreadnought was coming apart. Metal groaned and twisted. Fires spread through the oxygen-rich sections. Hyunwoo was the last one through the airlock. As their ship pulled away, the dreadnought exploded in a massive fireball. Mission successful, Hyunwoo reported to Admiral Ji-hoon, returning to base with the data. The battle lasted 6 hours. When it was over, the alien fleet retreated beyond Jupiter's orbit. They had lost 4 dreadnoughts and over 300 support ships. The human losses were heavy too. 140 fighters destroyed, thousands of soldiers dead, but Earth had won the first battle. In the command center, Ji-hoon studied the captured alien data. Dr. Minji stood beside him, reading through the technical files. Her eyes grew wide. Admiral, look at this, she said. Their psychological profile on humanity. They studied our entire history. Every war we ever fought. They know about World War I, World War II, Vietnam, everything. And they're terrified. Ji-hoon read the alien report. It described humans as a species with an abnormal capacity for violence. It noted how humans had developed weapons specifically designed to cause maximum suffering. Chemical gas. Biological weapons. Nuclear bombs. The report concluded that humanity was the most dangerous species the galaxy had ever encountered. They think we're monsters, Ji-hoon said quietly. Are they wrong? Minji asked. Ji-hoon looked at the casualty reports. So many dead. So many more would die before this was over. Maybe not. But we're monsters who fight for our freedom. I can live with that. He activated the fleet-wide communication system. Every soldier, every pilot, every ship heard his voice. Today we proved something important. We proved we can hurt them. We proved they can bleed. They came here thinking we would be easy to conquer. They were wrong. They're regrouping now, planning their next attack. Let them plan. Let them bring more ships. Let them bring their entire fleet. Because we just showed them the truth. Earth doesn't surrender. Earth doesn't submit. And Earth sure as hell doesn't bow to anyone. Get some rest. The next battle is coming soon, and we'll be ready. Commander Daehyun landed his damaged fighter on the Mars base. He climbed out exhausted. Other pilots gathered around him. They had survived, barely, but they had survived. Think they'll come back? Someone asked. Daehyun looked up at the stars. Somewhere out there, the alien fleet was licking its wounds, calling for reinforcements, preparing for the next attack. Yeah, he said. They'll come back. They have to. We embarrassed them, hurt their pride, made them look weak in front of the whole galaxy. They'll come back with everything they have. And when they do, Daehyun smiled. It was a tired smile, but it was real. When they do, we'll kill more of them. We'll keep killing them until they realize the cost is too high, until they understand that Earth isn't worth it. That's how we win. Not by being stronger, by being too expensive to conquer. The first battle was over. The war had just begun. 3 weeks after the first battle, the alien reinforcements arrived. Admiral Ji-hoon stood at his command post, watching the radar screen fill with red dots. 20 more dreadnoughts, thousands of smaller ships. The Council had brought their full military strength. Count, he asked quietly. 32 capital ships total, sir, the radar officer replied, plus support vessels. It's their entire invasion fleet. Ji-hoon nodded slowly. This was it, the real fight. The first battle had been a test. This would be a war of extermination. The Council had decided that humanity was too dangerous to leave alive. The alien fleet didn't charge forward this time. They had learned. Instead, they stayed at maximum range and began bombarding human positions with heavy weapons. Mars' colony took the first hits. Explosions rocked the surface. Domes cracked. Atmosphere leaked into space. General Yuna commanded the defense of Mars. She watched from her underground bunker as the surface installations were destroyed one by one. Millions of civilians were already in the deep shelters protected by miles of rock. But the colony itself was dying. All military units fall back to the tunnels, she ordered. Let them think they're winning. Then we show them what urban warfare really means. Alien troops landed on Mars in massive transport ships. They expected to find a broken, defeated population. Instead, they found a maze of tunnels where every corner could hide an enemy, where every shadow could mean death. Human soldiers knew these tunnels. They had built them. They fought using tactics learned from centuries of guerrilla warfare. Ambush, strike, disappear. The aliens had superior weapons and armor, but in the narrow tunnels, that didn't matter much. A grenade didn't care about advanced technology. While Mars burned, Dr. Minji worked day and night in her laboratory. She had promised Admiral Jihoon a new weapon, something that would change everything. Project Ragnarok. The calculations are complete, she told her team. It will work. It has to work. Project Ragnarok was simple in concept. Take a large piece of metal. Tungsten worked best. Accelerate it to a significant fraction of light speed using massive electromagnetic rails. Then let physics do the rest. At those speeds, even a small rod would hit with the force of a nuclear bomb, and Minji's rods weren't small. Firing solution calculated, her assistant said. Target locked. The alien command ship. Fire, Minji said. The tungsten rod launched from the hidden mass driver on the dark side of the moon. It accelerated for 3 seconds, then flew free. The aliens never saw it coming. Their sensors couldn't track something moving that fast. It was just a piece of metal. No engine, no heat signature, invisible. The rod struck the alien command ship dead center. The impact released energy equivalent to 50 nuclear weapons. The massive dreadnought simply ceased to exist. One moment it was there. The next it was a cloud of expanding debris. 5 more rods followed. 5 more alien capital ships died. The Council fleet panicked. They tried to scatter, but the rods were too fast. Too accurate. In less than 3 minutes, Minji had destroyed 6 of their most powerful vessels. Admiral, Minji reported, Project Ragnarok is successful, but we only have 4 rods left. The mass drivers need time to recharge. Understood, Jihoon replied. You've done well, Doctor. You've bought us time. The alien commander broadcast on an open channel. His voice was shaking with rage. You use forbidden weapons. You violate every law of civilized warfare. This is barbarism. Jihoon activated his microphone. You came to exterminate us. You expected us to fight fair? To follow your rules while you tried to wipe out our species? Here's a lesson about humanity. We don't lose wars because we follow someone else's rules. We make our own rules. And rule number 1 is simple. Survival matters more than honor. Meanwhile, Captain Hyunwoo received new orders. The Council had established a forward base on one of Saturn's moons. A space station where they coordinated their fleet movements. Jihoon wanted it gone. How many defenders? Hyunwoo asked. Intelligence says about 500 soldiers. Maybe more, came the reply. Hyunwoo looked at his team. 50 Void Strikers. The best fighters humanity had. But 50 against 500? Those were bad odds, he smiled. I've faced worse. Let's go. They approached the station in a stolen alien transport. The Council's security systems recognized the ship as friendly and let it dock. Hyunwoo and his team poured out, weapons firing. The battle inside the station was brutal and close. Hyunwoo fought with a rifle in one hand and a combat knife in the other. Aliens fell around him. His soldiers moved like shadows, deadly and efficient. They had trained for this. Urban combat. Close quarters. No rules except survival. They reached the station's reactor core. Hyunwoo placed explosive charges while his team held off the alien reinforcements. The fighting was desperate now. His soldiers were running out of ammunition, using captured alien weapons, fighting hand-to-hand when they had to. Charges set, Hyunwoo shouted. Everyone back to the ship, they ran. Behind them, aliens pursued. Hyunwoo was the last one onto the ship. As the airlock closed, he saw an alien soldier aim a weapon at him. He didn't have time to dodge. But one of his soldiers, a young woman named Suji, threw herself in front of him. The energy blast hit her instead. She died instantly. Hyunwoo dragged her body into the ship. The airlock sealed. The ship pulled away. 10 seconds later, the station exploded. The blast was visible from Earth, a new star in the sky that flickered and died. Back on Earth, Hyunwoo stood at Suji's funeral. Thousands had died in the war. Millions more would die before it ended. He looked at the flag covering her coffin and made a silent promise. Her death would mean something. They would win. They had to. The Battle of Luna began 3 days later. Captain Jiwon commanded Earth's largest battle carrier, the Indomitable. The moon was humanity's main shipyard. If it fell, Earth's ability to build new ships would be crippled. All ships defensive formation, Jiwon ordered. Protect the shipyards at all costs. The alien fleet attacked in waves. The battle raged for 3 weeks. Ships exploded, men died. The space around Luna became a graveyard of twisted metal and frozen bodies. Both sides lost heavily, but neither would retreat. Finally, Admiral Jihoon made a desperate decision. Gather every ship we have. Every fighter. Every weapon. We're going to attack their command ship. All at once. Everything we have. Sir, that's suicide, someone protested. Maybe, Jihoon said. But if we kill their commander, their fleet loses coordination. They'll have to retreat to regroup. That gives us time. Time to build more ships. Time to prepare better defenses. Time is what we need most. Commander Daehyun led the final attack. Every human ship charged forward together. They ignored the alien fighters. They ignored everything except the command ship. Hundreds of ships died getting there, but enough made it through. Daehyun's fighter was damaged, trailing smoke and fire, but he kept flying. He armed his last weapon, a fusion warhead. Enough explosive power to destroy a city. He aimed directly at the alien command ship's bridge. For Earth, he said quietly. Then he fired the missile and pulled away hard. The warhead struck. The explosion was blinding. When it cleared, the alien command ship was breaking apart. The alien fleet hesitated. Their command structure was destroyed. Their leaders were dead. Slowly, they began to retreat. Back beyond Mars, back beyond Jupiter, back to the edge of the solar system. The Battle of Luna was over. Humanity had won again. But the cost had been terrible. The Council's war room was in chaos. 5 species, rulers of the galaxy for 10,000 years, argued with each other. They had never lost a war before. They had never even struggled. But humanity was different. Humanity was impossible. We must use the Ark ships, one council member said. The planet killers. Destroy Earth completely, end this threat forever. And send what message to the galaxy? Another argued. That we are so weak we must exterminate species who resist us. Our client worlds will rebel. Everything we built will fall apart. Then what do you suggest? We have lost 70 capital ships, 70, against one primitive species who shouldn't even have spaceflight. They make us look like fools. In the end, they made their decision. One final assault. Every ship, every soldier, every weapon. They would crush humanity or die trying. The Council's pride would not allow anything less. Major Seojin sat in his intelligence office, headphones covering his ears. For weeks, he had been trying to break the Council's communication codes. Now, finally, he had succeeded. He listened to their transmissions and his blood ran cold. Admiral, he called urgently, I broke their codes. I know their plan. They're bringing everything, over 100 capital ships, and they have planet killers. They're going to bypass our defenses and strike Earth directly. Admiral Jihoon studied the intelligence report. 100 ships, planet-killing weapons. This was extinction. Total genocide. If those weapons reached Earth, every human would die. How long do we have? He asked. 6 days, sir. Maybe 7. Jihoon closed his eyes for a moment. 6 days to prepare for the end of the world. He opened his eyes again. Get me President Minho, get me everyone. We need to make a choice. President Minho addressed humanity one final time. His face appeared on every screen on Earth, Mars, and the orbital stations. His voice was steady, but his eyes showed his fear. My fellow humans, the Council is bringing their full military strength against us. They plan to destroy Earth completely. We could surrender. Maybe they would spare some of us, make us slaves instead of corpses. But I know you, I know us. We didn't come this far to bow now. So here is my order, my final request to all of you. If this is our end, we make it so costly they will never forget. We make them bleed for every inch. We show them that killing humanity is the most expensive mistake they will ever make. We fight. We fight until the last ship is destroyed, until the last soldier falls, until the last breath leaves our bodies. Earth does not surrender. Earth does not submit. And if Earth must fall, then by God we will make the whole galaxy remember why they should have left us alone. Every human who could hold a weapon armed themselves. Every ship that could fly launched into space. Every scientist worked on their last desperate projects. Earth prepared for the final battle. Dr. Minji hadn't slept in 3 days. Her hands shook from exhaustion and too much coffee. But she had done it. The Helios array was complete. A network of massive mirrors orbiting the sun. They could focus solar energy into a beam powerful enough to cut through anything. It will drain Earth's entire power grid, she told Admiral Jihoon. Every city will go dark. Every machine will stop. But for 60 seconds we will have the most powerful weapon in the solar system. 60 seconds, Jihoon repeated. Then we better make them count. Engineer Hanul worked alongside Minji. He had been retrofitting captured alien technology for months. Human weapons now used alien power sources. Human shields used alien designs. They had learned from every battle, adapted, improved. It might not be enough, but it was something. The Council fleet arrived exactly when Seojin had predicted. The sky filled with alien ships, so many that they blocked out the stars. Humanity's fleet looked tiny by comparison. 300 human ships against over 100 alien dreadnoughts and thousands of support vessels. All ships, Jihoon broadcast. This is it. This is what we trained for. What we fought for. Remember why we're here. Remember what we're protecting. Our homes. Our families. Our freedom. The Council thinks they can take all of that from us. They're wrong. Show them. Show them what it means to threaten Earth. The battle began. It was like nothing humanity had ever seen. The space between Earth and Mars became a war zone of unimaginable scale. Thousands of ships fighting. Millions of weapons firing. The darkness lit up with explosions that could be seen from Earth's surface. Captain Ji-won commanded the Indomitable, humanity's largest warship. She fought like a cornered animal, all claws and teeth. Her ship took hit after hit but kept fighting. Her crew worked like a machine, repairing damage as fast as it occurred. "Captain," her weapons officer shouted. "Enemy ARC ship detected. It's moving toward Earth. That's one of the planet killers." Ji-won saw it. A massive ship larger than a city. It carried weapons that could crack a planet like an egg. She knew what she had to do. "All power to engines," she ordered. "Ram that ship. Full speed. Captain, that's suicide." "I know," Ji-won said calmly. "Evacuate all non-essential personnel to the escape pods. Everyone else with me. We're going to save Earth." Meanwhile, Captain Hyunwoo led a desperate mission. His orders were simple. Board the ARC ship. Sabotage its weapons. Don't come back. It was a suicide mission. Everyone knew it. They volunteered anyway. His team of Void Strikers attacked in small stealth ships. They flew through the chaos of battle, dodging fire from 1,000 directions. Half his team died before they reached the ARC ship. The rest made it through. They cut through the hull and poured inside. The fighting was instant and brutal. Aliens and humans killed each other in narrow corridors. Blood floated in the zero gravity. Bodies piled up. But Hyunwoo's team pushed forward. They had a mission. They reached the weapon control room. Hyunwoo placed explosives on every critical system. His team held the door against waves of alien soldiers. One by one, his soldiers fell. Soon Hyunwoo was alone, wounded, bleeding. He activated the explosives. "Mission complete," he whispered into his radio. "The planet killers are offline. Tell my family The transmission cut off. The explosives detonated. Captain Hyunwoo died saving Earth. The ARC ship's weapons failed. It tried to retreat, but Captain Ji-won's Indomitable was already there. Her massive battle carrier crashed into the ARC ship at full speed. Both ships exploded in a blast that lit up the entire solar system. Ji-won and her crew died instantly. Heroes. Every one of them. On Earth, Dr. Minji watched the battle through her monitors. The alien fleet was too strong. Humanity was losing. Too many ships destroyed. Too many lives lost. It was time. "Admiral, the Helios array is ready," she reported. "Do it," Jihoon said. "Fire everything." Across Earth, every light went out. Every machine stopped. Every power plant channeled its energy into one system. The mirrors around the sun focused. Solar energy, the power of a star, concentrated into a single point. A beam of pure light shot through space. It was brighter than anything except the sun itself. It cut through the alien formation like a blade through paper. Ships didn't explode. They simply vaporized. Gone in an instant. Dozens of capital ships, hundreds of smaller vessels, all destroyed in 60 seconds. The Council's supreme commander watched in horror as his fleet died. This was impossible. Humans shouldn't have this kind of power. They were primitive, backward, yet they had just used a star as a weapon. All ships, he ordered. Final assault. Kill them all. But Admiral Jihoon had one more card to play. All human forces. Every ship, every fighter, charge right at their command ship. We end this now. What remained of humanity's fleet surged forward. Damaged ships, barely functioning weapons, exhausted crews. But they kept fighting. Every civilian ship that had weapons joined them. Cargo haulers, mining ships, even personal spacecraft, all of them charged together. The aliens tried to stop them. They fired everything they had. Hundreds more human ships died, but the rest kept coming. Like a wave that couldn't be stopped. Like a force of nature. Commander Daehyun flew through hell itself. His fighter was on fire. His shields were gone, but he could see the alien command ship ahead. Close, so close. He armed his last missile and fired. Others did the same. Dozens of missiles, maybe hundreds, all targeting one ship. The alien command ship's shields collapsed. Missiles struck. Explosions rippled across its hull. Then its reactor went critical. The ship tore itself apart from the inside. The Council's supreme commander died without dignity. Without honor, just gone. And with him the Council's will to fight. The alien fleet, leaderless and broken, began to retreat. Slowly at first, then faster. Running, fleeing, defeated. 3 days after the final battle, silence filled the solar system. The alien fleet was gone. They had retreated to their home territories, broken and defeated. Earth had won. But victory felt hollow. Admiral Jihoon stood in the command center staring at the casualty reports. The numbers seemed impossible. 300 million dead. Entire cities destroyed. Mars colony was in ruins. Dozens of orbital stations were gone. The human fleet was reduced to less than 50 operational ships. We won, someone said quietly. We actually won. Jihoon nodded slowly. Yes, we won. At a terrible price. But we're still here. Still free. That has to mean something. Across Earth, people emerged from their shelters. They looked up at the sky, half expecting to see alien ships. But there was only the sun and stars. The same sky they had always known. But everything else had changed. President Minho addressed the survivors. His face showed his exhaustion. He had aged 10 years in the past few months. My fellow humans, the war is over. We have survived what should have been our extinction. We fought the strongest military power in the galaxy and forced them to retreat. Now comes the hard part. We must rebuild. We must remember those we lost. And we must prepare for the future, because the galaxy knows about us now. They know what we can do. Some will fear us. Some will respect us. Some will want to be our friends. And some will want revenge. We must be ready for all of it. Ambassador Sujin received the first communication from the Council 10 days after the battle. It came through encrypted channels, secret, private. The message was simple. The Council wanted to negotiate. They want to talk, she told Admiral Jihoon. They're offering a treaty. Recognition of Earth's sovereignty. Non-aggression terms. Trade agreements. What do they want in return? Jihoon asked. Nothing. They just want us to stop. To not pursue their fleet. To not seek revenge, she paused. They're afraid of us, Jihoon. Truly afraid. They lost over 80,000 soldiers. 73 capital ships. Their economies are strained. Multiple Council species are in political chaos. They can't afford another war with us, Jihoon smiled grimly. Good, let them be afraid. Fear will keep them away better than any treaty. The treaty negotiations took place on a neutral space station. Sujin represented Earth. The Council sent their best diplomats. But for the first time in 10,000 years, they were the ones making concessions. They recognized Earth as an independent power. They agreed to stay out of the solar system. They even offered technical assistance for reconstruction. Why are you doing this? Sujin asked. You could have destroyed us. If you had kept fighting, eventually you would have won through sheer numbers. The lead Council diplomat, an old alien with sad eyes, answered honestly. Yes, eventually we would have won. But at what cost? We would have lost hundreds more ships, millions more soldiers. And for what? To rule over the ashes of your world? To make martyrs of your species? You showed us something we had forgotten, that some fights cost more than they're worth. that some enemies are too dangerous to make. Better to have you as neutral neighbors than as eternal enemies. The treaty was signed. Earth was recognized as an equal power in the galaxy. The war was officially over. Dr. Minji threw herself into new work. The captured alien technology was a treasure trove. Within weeks, human scientists made breakthroughs that should have taken decades. Faster engines, better shields, more efficient power sources. The technology gap was closing rapidly. Scientist Bora, one of Minji's youngest researchers, made the most important discovery. She found the secret to faster-than-light travel in the alien data. It required massive amounts of energy, but it was possible. Humans could finally travel to other star systems. "We can build a ship," Bora told the Research Council excitedly. "A real FTL ship. We can explore the galaxy, find new worlds, meet other species. Everything changes now." Construction began on humanity's first faster-than-light vessel. They named it Hope. It seemed appropriate. After so much death and destruction, humanity needed hope. Meanwhile, something unexpected happened. Other alien species began making secret contact with Earth. Species that had been under Council control for centuries. They wanted to learn from humanity. They wanted to know how to resist, how to fight for their freedom. "They see us as liberators," Ambassador Sujin explained to President Minho. "They watched us defeat the Council. Now they think they can do the same. They want our help, our weapons, our tactics. What do you recommend?" Minho asked. "Caution," she said. "We're not ready to be galactic revolutionaries. We need to rebuild first, get stronger, but we can offer them something better than weapons. We can offer them knowledge. Share what we learned. Let them make their own choices." Admiral Jihoon retired 6 months after the war ended. He had given everything to the fight. Now it was time to rest. At his final ceremony, thousands of people came to honor him, soldiers who had served under him, civilians whose lives he had saved, even Commander Daehyun, who had survived the final battle with terrible wounds. Jihoon stood before them and spoke simply. "I did what any of you would have done. I fought for our home, for our families, for our freedom. We won because we refused to give up. Because we were willing to pay any price. Remember that. Remember what we're capable of when someone tries to take our freedom. And remember those who died to give us this victory. They are the real heroes, not me. Never forget them." Reconstruction continued. Mars colony was rebuilt stronger than before. New orbital stations were constructed. The shipyards worked day and night building a new fleet. But this fleet would be different. It would use both human and alien technology. It would be powerful enough to defend Earth against any threat. Engineer Hanul led many of the reconstruction projects. He worked himself to exhaustion, but he never complained. "We're building the future," he told his team. "Every ship we build, every station we construct, it's all part of making sure this never happens again. We'll never be caught unprepared." Veteran Taehyung returned to his home in Seoul. The city had been evacuated during the war, but it had survived mostly intact. He walked through the familiar streets, seeing them with new eyes. Everything seemed precious now. Every building, every tree, every person. They had come so close to losing it all. He visited the memorial they had built for the fallen. 300 million names carved in black stone. He found the names of friends he had lost. Captain Hyunwoo, Captain Jiwon, so many others. He placed flowers at the base of the memorial and whispered a promise. "We'll make it worth it. Your sacrifice. We'll build something worthy of what you gave us." 2 years after the war ended, the Hope was ready for its maiden voyage. It would travel to the nearest star system and explore for signs of habitable planets. The entire solar system watched as it prepared to launch. Commander Daehyun stood at the launch site, watching through the windows. His injuries had healed, but he still walked with a limp. He had been offered command of the Hope, but he had declined. "Let the next generation have it," he had said. "I've seen enough of space for a while." Taehyung joined him, 2 veterans watching the future unfold. "Think we'll find anything out there?" Taehyung asked. "Probably," Daehyun said. "New worlds, new species, maybe even new enemies. But that's okay. We know how to deal with enemies now. And friends?" Taehyung asked. "Think we'll find friends out there?" Daehyun smiled. "Maybe. If they're smart enough to be our friends instead of our enemies. We've proven we're worth having as friends, and dangerous to have as enemies. The Hope's engines activated. A blue glow surrounded the ship as it charged its faster-than-light drive. Then in a flash of light, it was gone. Traveling faster than light, heading into the unknown. Humanity's first step into the wider galaxy. Earth had said no to submission. Earth had fought for its freedom and won. The cost had been terrible. The sacrifice had been immense. But humanity had survived. More than survived. They had proven themselves. To the galaxy. To the Council. To themselves. They were no longer alone in the universe. They were no longer ignorant of the dangers out there. But they were also no longer afraid. They had faced extinction and refused to bow. They had fought the strongest power in the galaxy and forced them to retreat. The galaxy would remember Earth. Some with fear. Some with respect. Some with hope. But all would remember. Because humanity had taught them an important lesson. That some species can't be conquered. That some fights cost more than victory is worth. That freedom once tasted is worth any price.